The wars of Alexander the Great were fought by King Alexander III of Macedon, first against the Achaemenid Persian Empire under Darius III, and then against local chieftains and warlords as far east as Punjab, India. Alexander the Great was the most successful military commander of all time. He was undefeated in battle. By the time of his death, he had conquered most of the world known to the ancient Greeks. Although being successful as a military commander, he failed to provide any stable alternative to the Achaemenid Empire. His untimely death threw the vast territories he conquered into war and chaos. Alexander assumed the kingship of Macedon following the death of his father Philip II, who had unified most of the city-states of mainland Greece under Macedonian hegemony in a federation called the League of Corinth. After reconfirming Macedonian rule by quashing a rebellion of southern Greek city-states and staging a short but bloody excursion against Macedon's northern neighbors, Alexander set out east against the Achaemenid Persian Empire, under its King of Kings, Darius III, which he defeated and overthrew. His conquests included Anatolia, Syria, Phoenicia, Judea, Gaza, Egypt, Bactria, and Mesopotamia, and he extended the boundaries of his own empire as far as Punjab, India. Alexander had already made more plans prior to his death for military and mercantile expansions into the Arabian Peninsula, after which he was to turn his armies to the west. However, Alexander's Diadochi quietly abandoned these grandiose plans after his death. Instead, within a few years of Alexander's death, the Diadochi began fighting with each other, dividing up the empire between themselves, and triggering 40 years of warfare. Background: Philip II was assassinated by the captain of his bodyguard, Pausanias, Philip's son, and previously designated heir. Alexander was proclaimed king by the Macedonian noblemen and army. News of Philip's death roused many states into revolt, including Thebes, Athens, Thessaly, and the Thracian tribes to the north of Macedon. When news of the revolt reached Alexander, he responded quickly. Though his advisors advised him to use diplomacy, Alexander mustered the Macedonian cavalry of 3,000 men and rode south towards Thessaly, Macedon's immediate neighbor to the south. When he found the Thessalian army occupying the pass between Mount Olympus and Mount Ossa, he had the men ride through Mount Ossa, and when the Thessalians awoke, they found Alexander at their rear. The Thessalians surrendered and added their cavalry to Alexander's force as he rode down towards the Peloponnese. Alexander stopped at Thermopylae, where he was recognized as the leader of the Sacred League before heading south to Corinth. Athens sued for peace, and Alexander received the envoy and pardoned anyone involved with the uprising. At Corinth, he was given the title hegemon of the Greek forces against the Persians. While at Corinth, he heard the news of the Thracian rising in the North Balkan campaign. Before crossing to Asia, Alexander wanted to safeguard his northern borders, and in the spring of 335 BCE, he advanced into Thrace to deal with the revolt, which was led by the Illyrians and Tribali. At Mount Haemus, the Macedonian army attacked and defeated a Thracian garrison manning the heights. The Macedonians were then attacked in the rear by the Tribali, who were crushed in turn. Alexander then advanced onto the Danube, encountering the Geta tribe on the opposite shore. The Geta army retreated after the first cavalry skirmish, leaving their town to the Macedonian army. News then reached Alexander that Clitus, king of Illyria, and King Glaucus of the Taulanta were in open revolt against Macedonian authority. Alexander defeated each in turn, forcing Clitus and Glaucus to flee with their armies, leaving Alexander's northern frontier secure. While he was triumphantly campaigning north, the Thebans and Athenians rebelled once more. Alexander reacted immediately, but, while the other cities once again hesitated, Thebes decided to resist with the utmost vigor. This resistance was useless, however, as the city was razed to the ground amid great bloodshed and its territory divided between the other Boeotian cities. The end of Thebes cowed Athens into submission, leaving all of Greece at least outwardly at peace with Alexander.